Cyril, do we wait or we are good to go? Okay. I beg your pardon. Hello everyone, I'm Toastmaster Yes, the Sergeant Arms for this session, and I welcome you all to this mentorship program by the Area G1. Now let's see some of the general housekeeping rules of this. First, we say the mission and the vision of this initiative. The vision is to impart right knowledge and information to the mentors and create a strong pool of mentors. Now, the mission behind this initiative is quite interesting, which is termed as TASK. First, the T stands for thought leadership. Now, what is thought leadership? Thought leadership means to create and build confidence in the upcoming leaders by the past leaders who have their experiences, who bring their experience on board for these mentees. The A stands for attitude, which is that the mentors who are part of this initiative create a strong attitude in the mentees so that they not only become a better Toastmaster but a better human. The S stands for skills. The skill set which these mentors bring on board will help the mentees in their upcoming projects, in their upcoming meetings, in their Toastmasters journey. Last but not the least, the K, which is knowledge. As we all know that knowledge spreads if we share it. So by sharing all these knowledge about their experience, these mentors will not only create a better mentees, better Toastmasters, but better human beings and a better person. Some general housekeeping rules to be followed during the session is that first, please rename yourself as, if you are a mentor, please rename yourself as mentor underscore your ID hyphen Toastmaster your name. For example, MEN 101 hyphen Toastmaster Ardi. If you are a viewer, please name yourself as guest underscore Toastmaster hyphen name. For example, guest Toastmaster Ravi. If you are an advisor, please rename yourself as advisor underscore Toastmaster your name. If you are a district officer, please rename yourself as role hyphen Toastmaster your name. For example, division director E hyphen Toastmaster Anivesh. You can enable gallery view in the Zoom to be able to see everyone and to have a better experience overall of the session. Please put your audio on mute when not speaking and request everyone to please turn on their camera so that the speaker can see the audience while speaking. You can rename yourself by going into the participant section, clicking on your name and renaming yourself. Some general ground rules to be followed is that please keep your noise making devices on silent mode. Please keep your noise making devices on silent mode to uphold the service and excellence of the meeting. Please do not move around or speak while a speaker is speaking. Please do not use your mobile phones or tablets while the speaker is speaking. So this is the agenda for today's meet. I request everyone to please go through this for a minute. So let's move on, and without further ado, let's call the man behind this initiative, Area Director, Area G1, Toastmaster Gagan. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yash Pansari. I welcome you all to the Spotlight Mentoring Program of G1. Hope you all have a great time from morning to evening. Today, in our meeting, we had dignitaries for the past district directors and present division directors and my fellow area directors and my lovely Toastmasters. I welcome you all to the once again welcome you all to the mentoring program of Spotlight. And Let me, a couple of years back, when I joined Toastmasters, I realized how important a role mentor plays in our life. Let me share my small story with you all. Let me share a small story. Once upon a time, the dark forest, on cold winter night, small chick is present, and it is shivering in the cold night. At that time, dog came and poked on the chick, but as a result, the whole night the chick was saved from the cold winter and created warmness to the chick. And next day, cat came and it cleared all the pook and eaten away the chick. What did we understand from the story? Initially, when dog came, it poked on the chick, but ultimately it created warmness to the chick. Next day, cat came. Even though cat cleared all the poop, it eaten away. Similarly, mentors play similar role. We feel mentors criticize us, gives us the constructive feedback. We will scold them, but ultimately, as a result, we'll become a great leaders, a great communicators. On other hand, we could see few members which will praise us, but ultimately will not learn anything. This is how mentors plays a major role in our life in shaping, even though they criticize us. Welcome all and to our as a mentors. Yeah, without further ado, let me hand over stage to the today's MC, who does not require any introduction. Put your hands in welcoming Toastmaster Manav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gagan. A very warm evening to each one of you present here. Zoom Master, can you please confirm whether I'm clearly audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Thank you. Well, it is rightly said that the delicate balance of mentoring someone is not by creating them in your own image, but it is by giving them an opportunity to create themselves. And this is what Area G1's mentoring program stands on. Today, after successfully completing many sessions on what is mentoring, how to be a mentor, how to effectively mentor role players, speakers, today we are ready with the next session. This session is Spotlight, a focus group discussion. Until now, we heard about various aspects of mentoring, but today it is time to focus more on the practicality. The session today is divided into three phases. In the first phase of today's session, you all would be divided into 5 different breakout rooms. Every breakout room will have one moderator. In our Toastmasters, or let's say in our lives as well, there are many times we face challenges. We have situations about which we are not very sure. Similarly, in a mentor mentee relationship, there will be times when you will face issues and challenges either as a mentor or as a prodigy. These scenarios, which you are going to witness today in this group discussion, have been carefully analyzed, studied, and discussed by our mentor program advisors. All you need to do today is share your mentoring and leadership experiences with each other. Come up with solutions to all the challenges that you will get in the breakout room. Share your opinions and your views with each other. Take the help of the moderator in the group discussion. And that is how you will benefit out of this activity. And to moderate this discussion, this group discussion, we have our very own district leaders. Division E Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Maniti, Area F4 Director, Toastmaster Majuri, Division G Director, Toastmaster Animesh, Division H Director, Toastmaster Anish, and Division N Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Mayuri. I welcome all the moderators. These leaders, the district officers today, will help you throughout the discussion of 20 minutes that is going to take place in the breakout room. You can ask them as many questions as you want related to mentoring or related to any discussion, any point of discussion. Do not hesitate to participate because the participation in these discussions is what will help you in your mentor-mentee relationship in future. Now the phase two. This phase is where we all will hear your views. Whatever you have discussed in during the discussion of phase one in those 20 minutes, one of your group member will summarize the solution or the discussion in 2 to 3 minutes. After which, our facilitators for today will share their views and suggestions too. We can hear and learn from their perspectives and opinions about those particular challenges and scenarios. And in phase three, in the last segment of the session, our facilitators will give us some very intriguing and exciting insights about managing expectations. What are the expectations that we have when we are a mentor or we are a mentee? I'm sure there is a lot to learn today in this next 1 hour. So once again, just to summarize and remind you all you will get is 20 minutes to discuss with your fellow Toastmasters, with your moderators, and we all will join the main meeting room. After the discussion, we will hear the perspectives from the group representatives and the facilitators, and I request all the group moderators of all the 5 groups to send me the names of group representatives over WhatsApp. And now it is the time for group discussion. If you all are excited and ready, just like me, share a virtual thumbs up. And if you do so, our Zoom master will open the rooms of learning. I mean the breakout rooms. Zoom master, can you please send us to our respective breakout rooms?
Yes, before that, Mana, so Maniteep isn't here yet. So I've made Beena ma'am and Manish sir as the breakout room discussion.
All right,
Yeah, Mani
thank
is
you.
joining.
Maniteep has joined.
He's joining in 1 2 minutes. Okay, meanwhile you can send them.
Okay, I'll open the rooms until then.
All right, thank you. Happy discussion, everyone.
Manav, have we sent the snips to the moderators?
No, we will share them now. I'm doing that immediately.
So Maniteep hasn't joined yet. In the breakout room 4, there is Beena ma'am and Manish sir.
So let Bina ma'am moderate the discussion. You can send a DM to her.
Oh, can you send the DM? I'm just assigning people. I'll join and I'll join. Okay, if I join the breakout room, there will be a problem. 1 second.
So please assign Bina ma'am in group 1.
1 second. I'm putting you in Beena ma'am's room. Just go and talk once.
Hi everyone.
I see.
So Bina ma'am, you're there on this group?
No, yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, you might have to leave the group and go to group 1 because we need you there.
Okay.
Sure? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So give us a minute. You'll get 20 minutes. We are just getting a division officer, district officer assigned to this group.
What happened?
So I've asked Bina ma'am to join breakout room number 1.
Okay.
That's one thing. And have you assigned the moderator specifically into the groups?
Yeah, I have assigned moderators specifically into the groups.
Cyril, I am joining from another device. Can you?
Yes, 1 second. Yes. I
Cyril,
sent
I'm
you
an
to-
observer only. No, I'm not moderating, right?
I guess you might have to moderate group 1.
Hey, come on.
Ma'am,
Not even
Mani-
prepared, yeah. I just joined as an observer. I should change my name to observer or viewer.
should I change the people to the different rooms then? From the
Give the
breakout room
proper
floor?
moderator to those persons, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe MC, if you can quickly go around and explain the moderators what is their role and share the details, you can just join in and move out. Are you the co-host?
No, I don't think I'm the host, and I've shared
Yeah.
the.
So you might have to quickly go and explain each group in maybe a minute.
Okay. Okay.
I'll make you as a co-host. So you are the co-host
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Manideep came now. Okay, I'll just assign Manideep to another breakout room 3. And breakout room
Please assign Manideep to group 1.
group 1. No,
That
I mean like yeah. I've assigned.
EFGHN. So let's have that way.
No, it's fine. I handle it.
Okay.
Manideep is over there, but others haven't joined yet.
And if you can increase the breakout room to 2 minutes more so that the MC can go and brief.
Yes.
And Bina ma'am to be assigned as a viewer to any of the groups.
If you need my help, I'll give it. But don't surprise me, yaar. 5 minutes are left. I have no clue what I'm supposed to do. If you tell me, then I'll help.
No, ma'am. I guess we didn't have one of the division officers joined on time. That's the reason we wanted a backup. Till he joins, he said he'll be joining in 2 minutes. I believe he's joined.
Yeah, ma'am, he is in the breakout room 4. Can you join back so that it will be a help for them?
And Manav, maybe you can go around all the groups quickly and explain them what they need to do.
Yes, I sent him to breakout room 4. But he hasn't joined yet.
Yeah, he's left and he's joining.
Ma'am, can you join the breakout room notification? I guess you got it.
Can you also put Anusha? Can you put Madhuri into the breakout room?
They haven't joined yet, so that's why.
But I've not got any notification, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, which room to join, you said, or what? Breakout room 4. I've got one. You have been assigned to breakout room 4. Should I join that?
Yeah,
no?
yeah, you can join that.
Good evening, Varda here from Dubai.
Hi, Varta. Give us a minute. We are assigning to you a breakout room.
Oh, okay.
The discussion would happen.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So, Vaishnavi, can you assign Madhuri and Varda? Can you assign Madhuri and Varda to the breakout rooms? Maybe I can send a note to the MC. Okay, you can't hear me. Let me see what's the problem with your. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Vaishnavi, can you assign Madhuri and Varda to the breakout rooms?
Can't hear anyone.
Can you hear me now?
Second. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. So can you also put Madhuri into the breakout room? Madhuri, can you unmute yourself and see whether you are able to see the breakout room?
I have actually assigned her already, but she hasn't joined.
So Madhuri, are you on the call? Let me try to unmute her. And just to check, are we able to send a message to the MC so that he's going around and informing?
Yes, he is now in the breakout room too.
Okay. So I'm not sure why Madhuri is not able to do that. Let me remove that. Awesome. Uh, so I can go to any breakout room and check, right?
Hey, hi, Cyril.
Hi, Mani. So Mani,
Hey,
you've
hi.
got the snip.
Yes, yes. Manav just informed me so that we have to share the slide, right?
Yes, you can
And
share the
the and
slide
that
and
and the team will discuss and come up with a solution. So all of us will collectively discuss and see how better we can find out the solution.
yes.
All
And
right.
one
Yeah.
person has to represent that.
Yes, yes. So actually, I just reached, so I could not get through the messages. So I was just checking.
No
There's
problem.
so many messages. So we'll get it done. Thanks, Cyril.
Yeah, can you all see me?
So Yash, you're not getting into any breakout room?
Yeah, I'm not in. I was not assigned to anyone, so I'm just sitting here.
Okay. Can you just click on the breakout rooms? Maybe.
No, I can't see the option.
Okay, I'll ask Vaishnav. Vaishnavi, you're there?
Oh, no, no, no worries. I will just sit here. No worries.
No, no, no. I can try to assign you. Just a minute.
No, man, no. I'm just afraid of discussions here. I'm not
Okay.
good at discussions.
I am not sure why Vaishnavi is not picking up the call. Vaishnavi.
The number you're calling is temporary.
So I'll get into the breakout room. I have messaged people. So anyone who's joining, if you're not joining the breakout room, Yash, so you can inform them. They might have to wait till the Zoom master assigns them.
Okay.
So KK, so apart from you, Ravi, and who else is actually part of the discussion? So if one
No,
can,
only we both. Two people only.
Okay. So would you like to start the discussion? So probably share some inputs. Ravi, if we can start the discussion. So before we go ahead, so who is going to represent among you, KK and Ravi? So
I
if you
would
can
recommend
identify.
Ravi to present.
All right. So Ravi, are you fine with it?
Okay, go. You go. Na?
Sorry. Hello.
Hello. Okay.
We need to start discussing because the time is running off. I've asked the Zoom master to increase by 5 minutes.
So KK and Ravi, probably if you can start share your inputs.
Okay, fine.
So you can share your inputs based on what you understand, Ravi.
Yeah, I'm going through it.
Yeah,
1
Ravi.
minute.
Yeah. So what I have understood is like I am the club officer, and like there are like two Toastmasters to whom I am mentoring, and somehow I'm not getting much time to devote to Toastmasters, and like I have lost contact with my mentor or mentee during this time, and now like how I will get back to these things and come back to the Toastmasters and serve at the best of my abilities. Yeah, that is why what I have got.
Yash, I'm making you the host. Will you be able to increase the breakout room time by 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm making you the host, and you can make the co-host again to me.
Sure.
And yeah, so hi Chandra.
Hey Cyril, how are you?
I'm good.
So it's going well?
Yeah, it's going well. We just increased for the breakout room by 2 to 3 minutes so that people can settle and start discussing. So they're starting to discuss.
Okay.
So Vaishnavi, have you joined with your phone?
Yes, I've joined with my phone.
Okay. So I have made.
Cyril, I think that when the breakout rooms were made, it can't be changed after that.
Okay. So
The
Vaishnavi,
timings.
do you know to change the timing of the breakout room?
I guess I can if I don't know how to work on the settings through phone.
Okay. Can you guide me? I can do that. Or guide Yash. Yash is the host now.
So yes, can you see any options?
Here, if I click on the breakout room, there are just two windows, which is one says assigned and other said all the breakout rooms from 1 to 5.
Okay, at the end of the window, can you see any option?
So there are only two options. First is of the broadcast a message to all, and second is of close all the rooms.
Okay.
Third option is there to join any breakout room, and nothing after that.
Okay. I guess we have to close the breakout rooms too. I don't know. I mean, I'm confused now.
Let me Google it. Google is answer for a lot of things. So give me a minute.
Yes, can you make me the co-host once?
Yes, sure.
Hello, Sureka ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, you want to get into any breakout room?
No, I just want to listen to Chandra and Ravi. It's almost that time, no? 7:30.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Yash, how much time is left for the breakout rooms to close?
4 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm not in any presentable form at this time of the evening.
Okay. Okay, no problem, ma'am.
Good evening, madam.
Chandra, good evening. Always a pleasure to see you.
Same here, ma'am. Nice to catch up with you here.
So far, I have not missed any sessions. It's a learning for me too, no? To listen to
Right. I mean,
everybody.
these sessions are really turning out very, very valuable.
Yes, yes. No, everybody is a mentor and a mentee. So I'm gaining a lot of things too, and made me think about what I am doing.
That's true. That's true. As they say, no, the learning never stops. It's the learner who stops.
True, absolutely.
New clubs are something which will not come every month. That is one thing. And second thing is I will also emphasize on the importance of DTM. When somebody is about to close to becoming a DTM, it is utmost important. We need to support him. So these two things I will emphasize to that person and try to find out time and make up schedule accordingly, and it give at least 1 hour a day so that he can address the new club problem. And second thing is, in both the cases, let us say first one, he is not alone. When I say he is somebody who is about to sponsor a new club, there will be another sponsor also. So he can request to that person, maybe tell him that I'm occupied. So try to share the work, maybe 20/80 or 30/70, and then discuss with them and help the club, in forming. And second thing, there are already two Toastmasters, and one of whom is achieving DTM. So already one person is about to reach the highest goal in Toastmasters. He might be aware of all the things that a Toastmaster undergoes. So explain him that he is occupied and come up with a schedule. And also, uh, yeah, yeah, that is what I feel. Come up with a schedule and explain them uh, the importance of becoming DTM and also sponsoring a new club. So,
Fed 4 times or 5 times in a day, everybody gets healthier.
Yeah.
Good.
But enjoy your mom's cooking, okay?
Yeah.
I think you are having this opportunity after many years, no?
After many, in fact, my office said it will be most probably until June next year.
Oh my.
Wow. This is like longer than any school vacation to anybody.
Really?
Yeah, longer than anything.
We have actually given our students in the school are telling, sir, 5 years vacation you have given at one shot.
So they are moving to the new building, no, ADP, near to the outer ring road. So the Somajiguda building, they are now completely switching it off. So it is end of our legacy.
Oh, so you don't even get to say bye to it properly.
Failures. Okay, the last one not to speak is going to be the team lead. Okay, 4, 3, 2. Who is it? Okay, no one.
So I think we can go with Jatin.
Okay, perfect, Jatin. Shriram, any oppositions?
No.
Satya, any oppositions? Okay, he's not. Jatin, any oppositions?
Yeah, I mean, now with all this COVID and all, commercial real estate is gone to toss.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to work from home. Oh, Arvind. Hi, Arvind. I cannot recognize you. My God.
Where is he?
I don't know where he is on your screen, but he's on my screen. He's at the bottom, yellow background or green background, whatever.
Oh yeah. I could see him now.
Wow, Arvind, this is
Arvind,
rock star look, man.
you look like a magician. Ready
Sorry,
to
you people are all so groomed and there's no pandemic and this thing lockdown there, is it?
No, we are not in India or in the world. No, we are
Oh,
like
I
completely
see.
insulated, Hyderabad.
Right. Okay. Great. Yeah. In Bombay, we are in the thick of it.
So what are you going to pull from that long beard of yours? What is the trick you are going to pull?
Hey, no. Now, don't spoil my bad name. Let's get on with the program.
Yeah, I know. And one more thing, let's not make this district directors get together now or past district directors. Let's focus on others in the group. Hi, Beena.
Yeah, hi. How are you all? Pune is
Good.
worse hit than Bombay, by the way,
know,
and yet
I
we are
know
very
that.
quite well groomed.
So a lot of people. Mayur is here. Okay, so is this message for us, Cyril, or we are in the main room only, right?
For others who are yet to join in, a few people.
Oh, okay.
Arvind, how is the rains?
Very bad. Even now, it's raining.
Oh, is it?
It's humid and it's raining. I hope it goes off in the next 2-3 days.
Oh, okay.
But one thing, strangely, Hyderabad also has become very humid, man. Never it was like this, but now Hyderabad is almost like any city with like Vizag or Mumbai. I know I'm a little exaggerating because I'm from Bangalore, so anything humid is like a sea city for me.
True. Arvind, the Vada Pav is open. The Vada Pav center near your house.
Yes.
So, oh, nice.
Seriously, Surekha madam, look at what he's asking.
I am craving for that Vada Pav, madam.
We just
Where
spoke
are the
about.
moderators? Where are the moderators for the show? Stop them. Get on with the meeting. There are members waiting to be mentored.
Oh, yes.
All right. So we will hear what Toastmaster Arvind says, and we are back with our focus group discussion. Once again, I welcome you all to the phase 2 of this session, Spotlight, the focus group discussion. Now, in this session particularly, we all have now seen the challenges, we all have come up with various solutions and conclusions, and now we are going to discuss it here with everyone. Before that, I would like to ask one of the moderators if they would like to share their experience about this discussion. So any of the moderators? Okay, we'll go with Toastmaster Animesh.
Why, Manav? Why? Okay, thanks, Cyril and Gagan for setting this up and inviting us all in. How was my experience? It was amazing in a sense that the problem statement is similar that we all notice, but we all notice that in our day-to-day life, but we forget when the same learnings come for Toastmasters. So that is one aspect of it. Second thing I realized is actually through this session is what is the perhaps one of the root causes of people getting adamant about my viewpoint is right, because that is one discussion, because everyone in this discussion what we thought is, okay, everyone is saying, okay, my viewpoint is right, that is why no one is willing to bow. So maybe the one of the discussions would be welcome conflicts and welcome errors and mistakes in your life, because that would be one learning. And yeah, it's amazing, man. It's great to connect with people and to understand what goes behind everyone's thought process. So
Thank you, Animesh. And Toastmaster Madhuri, would you like to share something?
Sure, Toastmaster Mana. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I bagged this opportunity because Toastmaster Sandeep had an office call, and I really appreciate for accommodating me in the last minute. Coming to my experience, I have Toastmaster Aravind in my group. So what else I can say? I bagged a lot of knowledge today, and I understood how we have to look at mentoring as well. I've heard about different kinds of perspectives. And let me tell you, when I was a new Toastmaster Chandrasekhar has given me a clear view of mentoring. He said intimacy and instructions is mentoring, and I have been following the same, and now I can see the same zeal in the other group discussers in that group. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manav, and I thank for accommodating me in the last minute. Over to you, Toastmaster Manav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhuri. Well, I hope the moderators enjoyed the group discussion as well, and I believe that my fellow Toastmasters got your help in while moderating the discussions. Moving ahead, now this is the time when our representatives or our group members will share their opinions and their aspects, and after that, our facilitators for the day, distinguished Toastmaster Chandrasekhar and distinguished Toastmaster Ravi Teja, will share their perspectives and insights too. At this point of time, I would like to remind both the facilitators and all the group representatives that you all have 2 to 3 minutes to present your opinion and your views about the challenge or about the case that you got. Are we ready? All right. So let us call the first group representative from group 1. Toastmaster Manideep, can you please tell us who is the representative from group 1?
Hi Manav, from group 1, KK would be representing.
All right.
So before that, I will just quickly show the timer card. So I'll be showing the green card at the strike of 1 minute, yellow card at the strike of 2 minutes, and red card that's the hard stop for you guys at the strike of 3 minutes. The first group spoke about this case study for everyone to have a glimpse for around 10 seconds to read through. And after that, I will show the green card so that I'll say start. I'll show green card to start off.
Thank you, timer Toastmaster Cyril. Please help me welcome with a virtual applause Toastmaster KK from Group 1.
Thank you. Thank you, Manav. Okay, so we don't have the slide. Anyway, I'll explain. So what is that problem statement which we have undergone is a person is a club officer or a Toastmaster is a club officer, and then he is also a mentor to 2 people, and one of the person is about to get DTM. And apart from this, he is also sponsoring a club or about to sponsor a club. Now he is not attending any meetings, and he is also not giving time for his mentors. So I can relate, many DTMs are there in this meeting, so they might have mentors as well. So what is that we have come up with is, first thing in the Toastmaster promise, last but one promise is to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmaster educational and recognition programs. So it is already mentioned in the problem statement that this person has lot to offer. When someone has lot to offer and is occupied, it is high time we need to remind him his potential. So this is one thing which I or my team has come up with as an advice is talk to him and come up, explain him his potential and try to come up with a schedule. Now, if you closely observe, a club's sponsors can be 2 people for a club. So there he can share the responsibility with the other person. But someone else cannot mentor the 2 people. And among the 2 people, one person is about to complete a DTM. Now, when assume that you are about to complete something which is highest form of recognition in anything. Now, how do you feel if you don't have a mentor beside you? That is not correct. So what is that we have recommended this Toastmaster is you prepare a plan at least 1 hour in a day and make sure your highest priority is mentoring the people with respect to DTM and the other person, because as a club officer you have a team to support you even at your absence. As a club sponsor you have another friend to support you, but here there is nobody to support you. You are the mentor to the 2 people and you have to mentor them, and there is another person who's about to complete DTM. Now he cannot accept another person as his mentor, that too in the verge of his journey about to get completed. So come up with a plan and we will Try to explain him the unleashed and untapped potential he has, because he is mentoring a DTM. I mean, someone who is about to complete a DTM. So he might have also went through this phase somewhere in his Toastmasters journey. Then we'll try to ask him, what is that you have done when you come across this kind of situation previously? So apply the same technique and help that person who is about to become a DTM. And these, yeah, and we'll remind him the last but one promise and try to encourage him to come up with a perfect agenda or a schedule. Thank you. Over to you, Manu.
Thank you so much for sharing that interesting solution that you came up with. Now, I would like to ask the facilitators, what are your views on this?
Facilitators means me and Chandra, is it, Manav?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. No, I think a good job, KK and team. I think you guys, it is not easy, first of all, to understand this at a point where you are. The situation itself is a little bit complex, and it is not possible for everyone to sit in that, frame of mind or emotion and think about a solution. So I think you guys have done a fabulous job, in which what I really liked about the discussion and the fallout of the discussion, or the result of the discussion, is basically you trying to make that conversation happen with that person, or with that senior member or a mentor, or however, or the club officer, however you are looking at. Now, I think you've covered majority part of the conversation. What is it that you can include in that conversation, and some of the questions that you have highlighted also serve the right purpose, or it will make that conversation a little bit more interesting. Now, what I think is, if at all that member is serving a club officer, and he is demotivated, one of the things that you also might think is what's happening in his club. If any club officer or a senior member gets disinterested in Toastmasters, it means that there is a culture that is growing around which is not fertile enough for him to come and be part of. There is something that is troubling him. There is something that is making him not associate with, whether it is a club meeting or whether it is Toastmasters in general. He might be doing it only because he has to do, or he has given a promise of being a club officer, or a mentor or something like that. But there is something more that's troubling him. There is an atmosphere that is created for him in the club. I mean, this is might be a reason which is not allowing him to like the club, so on and so forth. So there is another set of people that you might need to talk with. And also, the other way of looking at it is, maybe there is something happening in his personal or a professional life which is not allowing him to be involved into Toastmasters, or for that matter into Toastmasters meetings so much. So I think these are the two other things that you might want to also evaluate when you are having those conversations. And this is where I stop, and I like Chandra to speak.
Okay, thank you, Ravi, and well done, KK. Now that Ravi has played good cop, I think I have no choice but to play bad cop. So let's go straight to the question at the bottom of the case study. It says, how do you reflect on being a worthy role model? I think this is the question which is asked to the person who is, I can say, defaulted on his responsibility to be a worthy role model. Keep that question on your mind and look at the next question. What part of this equation are you willing to change? That's another question. Okay. So now let's not assume anything here. The fact that the first sentence says you are a club officer. Forget about the Toastmasters promise. You have sworn to a responsibility as a club officer. And that shows, and that begins, first of all, if not ends, with you being regular to attend club meetings. Everything else comes later. Whether you're a mentor, you're about to mentor somebody who's being a DTM, you're about to sponsor, all of that, keep that aside. You are a club officer, and your responsibility begins by attending regularly. And forget about you're accomplished. You are a club officer, so you need to lead by example to the remaining 6 people and inspire them as an EC. So that's first point. You need to focus. So the thing which you would like to change in the equation is you caught it when it comes to reminding, but remind him of not just being a mentor of mentoring somebody who's going to be a DTM, but remind him that he is a club officer in the first place. Number one. The second thing which I would like to add to you is the second question, worthy of role model. Now, see, remember, your perception, your credibility does not come from what you will be doing in the future, but it will come from what you have already done. Now, if you have lost your credibility by being absent, irregular, or shying away from your responsibilities, you are no more a role model. Let's face it. Role model is not like 10 standard pass or a graduate or something. It is not fixed to you forever. Once you don't live up to that, it's gone. It's like a musical chair. You've lost it. So now you need to tell them, boss, forget about role modeling. You are not even a member in good standing. Now get back to that. And let me tell you, nothing shakes us like truth. If you tell the truth, then either you make it or you break it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you everyone for sharing your wonderful insights. Moving ahead to group 2, we have Toastmaster Varsha who is going to share her views on this case. Can we have Toastmaster Varsha on spotlight? Zoom Master, can we have Toastmaster Varsha on spotlight? Thank you.
Should I begin?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Varsha, and looking into the situation, which was about Raj, and the mentor and Raj had both decided that they would be completing level 3 within a period of 6 to 8 months. So maybe they thought that it would be possible, but along the way, Raj was now the VPE, and he felt that he's being bogged down by the responsibilities of VPE, so he's not able to complete his projects. So what I would suggest him is, firstly, as a mentor, I would have regular interactions with him so that I would know at what point and what phase of his life he is in with respect to Toastmasters and what is he expecting. And secondly, if he tends to like feel that he's not able to cope up with the responsibilities of the VP, then I would suggest that he have a buddy along with him, like we do have it in our club. So when we have a buddy, he will now then be able to share his responsibilities, and then it would not be too much for him to, or he would not need to focus too much only on the role of the VP, and he would get time to focus on his projects as well. Okay, and then secondly, I would like to maybe suggest him to maybe try to incorporate some time management schemes or schedules, or maybe some exercises, so that he would be able to like focus on all the aspects of his life equally and not give more importance to one aspect and leave the other. So I feel that if he will be able to do that well, then, and I would help him, maybe if he needs help in, like we had one of our candidates, he feels that he has difficulty in writing a script. So we will then sit and try to understand what is it that is holding him back in completing his project. So if then we will try to focus on that and try to solve whatever it is that is holding him back, so that he can then go on to complete his levels. So that was what we felt. And maybe if we have a prior schedule, suppose if they have meetings every 15 days, or maybe another, maybe in once a month. So maybe if we try to incorporate his some maybe for the next month, and we try to prepare his project or his speeches well beforehand, so it will not be at the last moment. He would not have to take too much pressure for it. So that was our take on this situation. So over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha, and let's hear from our advisors, facilitators.
Okay, so Varsha and your team, well done on looking at the issue. But I want to ask you a question. The third line in the case talks about he's burnt out serving as the club's vice president education.
Yeah.
Now, what did you consider about this fact before answering the questions?
Actually, what I have personally seen, I've not been a VP yet of my club ever, but what I've seen, my VPs before is that it's a lot of work and it's a lot of responsibility. So sometimes it tends to happen that they have the agenda to close.
All right. I'll cut you short because I don't have much time. I have to hand it back to Ravi. But I got the word. It is empathy. You could empathize with him, right?
Yes.
Now, if you have empathized with him, what is the part of that empathy as translated into solution? Because you need to give him a solution, and he is burnt out. He's already said that's the reason he's lagging behind.
Yes.
Now, how did you translate that empathy to solution? I want you to think.
So that's when we thought that he can have a buddy for his role as a VPE, so that whatever is his responsibility, he can share it with his buddy. Suppose he needs to float an agenda tonight, and then he has got a speech coming up.
So what I want to tell you here is, look at the facts of the case. You can have emotions attached to the person or to the assumption, but the facts matter. That's all I would like to tell you on the team. Okay, let's see what Ravi has to say. Ravi, over to you.
Yeah, I think, Varsha, I think you've covered quite a bit in terms of what is it that you plan to do. I think one of the challenges in such kind of a situation is the first question: how do you propose broaching the subject? Because that is not something that is easy for any of us to say, okay, hey, I think you are getting burnt out, or if a person is completely disinterested, how do you broach is something, a thing that you guys need to also have a little bit of more brainstorming in terms of what should be the first call. What are the given conditions, and given this, how do you make that in this particular scenario? How do you make that first impression right, such that he opens up, or for that matter, how do you ensure that you engage into that conversation? If somebody is burnt out as a VP education, for the solutions that you mentioned, like buddying, etc., first he has to be open to listening. You have to bring him into the zone of listening, right, of what you are trying to tell him. So I think you guys might want to look at that as well. How do you bring him into that zone of listening? And that's something that might need a little bit of rediscussion within the group. How do you bring them? Because once you would have got him onto that zone, solutions like how you proposed, or the empathy, or the the solutions that are coming out of that empathizing would slowly work out. And I think that is something that you guys want to also revisit once again. Yeah, how do you bring him into that zone? Otherwise, everything good. Manav, back to you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful insights. Without wasting much time, I would like to invite Toastmaster Ajay from Group 3.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Mano. Good evening, all the dignitaries and fellow Toastmasters. So now our problem statement is, our mentee, she's a new Toastmaster, and she's into the EC for the first time, and she had a discussion with one of the EC members, which is never ending. The other person always opposes the member. Now for her, our team would say that, as per the Toastmasters TLTP training program, or the Toastmasters curriculum, we have 3 points, key highlight points. That is, first, always go for a mutual agreement where both of you benefit. The second point is servant leadership. The third point, don't disrespect but disagree. So with these 3 points, everything is telling, as a member of an EC, your try criteria is to ensure that your club operates in a smooth functioning and every member of your club is, goals and responsibilities are met. So this is how we need to install. As a member, you might fail as an EC member, but entire EC is also responsible for it. It is not you two people failing. For example, in most of the cases, let us say your member might disagree with you, but go for an voting. If it is the case, most of the times you have other 5 members. Now talk to them and address your opinion there, and they might come up always. In that case also, you might think about they will also disagree with me. Now go to your 20 members, address your point there, your club members. They might feel that your point is valid and they will give you a chance. If at all, if every time you go, if everybody is disagreeing with you, I think then there is a problem with our opinion. We need to relook at it. So I think with these 3 simple points, I would conclude. Back to. Thank you. Thank you.
Great, Ajay. I think this is a very real case of a conflict management, and Chandra would have amazing. He can have an amazing session on this. So, but given the time that we have, what I really liked in the way that you guys have approached is, I like the fact that you try to bring in a process to resolve the conflict. You try to look at the existing process that is there to resolve conflicts in a club. In this kind of a situation, that works pretty well, and that's very, very important. Correct. And what we need to really look at again is what is the process in that conflict. Say, for example, as you rightly mentioned, in the EC there is a disagreement. How do you resolve it? Correct. And bringing in that process, stepping into the shoes of say the president or that particular person, saying that, hey, this is the established process in the club constitution of TI, you follow this process. Correct. So that is something that has to be suggested, that has to be put in place, and I hope you get more detailed into it. You cannot just say that this is what you guys to do. And the second thing that I really liked about what you mentioned is, if everybody is telling you that it is wrong, it means that you have to look into yourself, right? That's a good way of keeping it out. But even before that, the first aspect of how we've seen group 2 is approaching. So the person or the person whom you're talking to is already on an emotional high, right? He or she is at that level. How do you approach a person at that level is also something that you need to look at. First, you need to be a sync of that emotion. Once get him into that zone of where he is ready to look at a logical point of view rather than an emotional point of view, and then start having this conversation. I'll stop here and I'll let Chandra take on from here.
Thanks, Ravi. And Ajay and team, well done. I think by far I've heard a very good analysis of the case at hand by your group so far. And I really liked all the 3 points, as Ravi mentioned. You have covered it well. Now, a couple of things which I would like to talk about is, number one, you said mutually settle it or mutually beneficial settlement, servant leadership, and disrespecting is not allowed. What I would like to tell you is, whenever there is a conflict, now there is a lesson for all of us who are listening here. Whenever there is a conflict, don't go to the vague extreme or the vague end. Look at the concrete extreme or the concrete end. When I say that, in the 3 points what you mentioned, your respect is one of the concrete things which is listed in the Toastmasters values. As far as servant leadership or as far as mutual settlement, that is very vague. Now, if you agree with me, then start by that. Because when you are in conflict, what is crystal clear, then people won't argue. What is not crystal clear is what creates arguments and conflicts. So that's one takeaway for all of us. The second thing is the most important first step. Whenever there is a conflict or you sense of a conflict between 2 individuals, the first step is to disengage. If one person is conflicting with you for whatever reason, even though you are right, the first thing we need to do is disengage rather than proving a point that no, I'm right, so I will not step back. When you step back, it gives you a lot of opportunities to allow others to reflect and also to tone down their opinion on the conflict. So keep these 2 things in mind, but I think you and your team have done a great job. Hats off to you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you everyone for those insights. Moving ahead, we have Toastmaster Kunal from Group 4. Can we have Toastmaster Kunal on Spotlight? Over to you, Toastmaster Kunal.
Thank you. So our situation is basically dealing with uh, a previous. I am the mentor of the Toastmaster whose previous mentor is no longer a Toastmaster because he is relocated. Now I am taking on the role of this person as a mentor, but this mentee always sees me in comparison with his previous mentor in terms of style of mentoring or any other matter. Now, how do I handle this situation? What we discussed so far in our group was to address this because we are all different, aren't we, ladies and gentlemen? Our values are different, our methods are different, we are all different. So we have to acknowledge that. Having that in mind, what we can do as a mentor, how I can do or what I can do to make this better is first build rapport. Build rapport with the mentee so that it allows your mentor-mentee relationship not only to be uh, a specific Toastmaster-ish kind of a thing, but also network, socialize with him, build a rapport with your mentee so that he or she feels comfortable. Second, have an expectation setting with your mentee to understand what he expects from you and then plan the next course of action. Because if you understand what he expects from you or what she expects from you, you have a clear path that, okay, this is what their expectation is, and here is how, what I can mold myself, or here is what I can do to cater to his or her expectation. Number three is I'll try to understand from him. This was a suggestion that we'll try to understand from the mentee the previous mentor's style. We could either take it or we could adapt ourselves to that style so that we could better fit to these to this mentee's expectations. Finally, we also thought that it is very crucial and of paramount importance to empathize and not be, why is he having a problem with me? I'm all right. But to empathize with the mentee and try to understand things from their point of view as to why he's feeling what he's feeling. So if we cover these aspects, the broad line saying that availability, being available as a mentor to this person is the key, number one, and then empathize with him, try to understand his point of view, build rapport over the course of time, and have an expectation setting with him to understand what he or she expects from you. I think that is how we can address this problem. Over to the master ceremony.
Okay, so a great job done there, Kunal and team. I think you have more or less covered almost all the dimensions involved as far as this case is concerned. So I will not repeat whatever you have already covered. And rather, I would like to speak a little bit about focus. When I say focus, listen to the whole process of mentor and mentoring and mentee. The whole process is targeted towards a particular goal, and the focus is on the goal. What is the goal here? The goal is two people come together in a mentor-mentee relationship to achieve an objective. It may be DTM, it may be a level one, or it may be contest winning, whatever. Now, in this entire equation of this case, the focus on the goal is completely missing. It has become personal. It has become totally personal between me versus my previous mentor versus the mentee. Right? I think as a mentor, you need to bring back the focus into the whole equation, which is okay, fine. As you rightly said, all five fingers are not alike. Different people have different tastes and different personalities, but the focus remains the same because we are in the equation of mentor and mentee. So without letting the focus drift away, if you are doing empathy, if you are doing expectation setting, if you are doing rapport building, or if you're even learning and trying to fit yourself into the shoe of the previous mentor, fantastic job. I mean, hats off to you. But please focus on the goal. Back to Ravi.
Yeah. So I think as Chandra mentioned, Kunal, very well discussion. The highlight for me is the expectation setting. The way that you guys have thought of the expectation setting is very good. As Chandra mentioned, if the focus on the goal is taken away, there are various reasons why, or there are various ways to bring back that focus, in which expectation setting is definitely one of the most proven ways of keeping the focus on the final goal. So that's beautifully done. I just want to add to what you mentioned in terms of the discussion, or how do we tackle this. If you guys can also look at whether this clash that happened is it a personality clash or an approach based clash. What I mean is, say for example, my previous mentor has a is very, is very self sufficient, or is very chilled, is very calm, and while the current mentor is more aggressive, right? Say for example, I have Animesh and I have Sandeep. Sandeep was my previous mentor, and Animesh is my new mentor. They do have different personalities. So is it a personality clash, or is it an approach clash, where the approach to solve a particular issue or to help somebody reach that particular goal is different, and it is more suitable to the mentee or to Lucky in this particular aspect than what you are trying to provide as an approach. Is that where the clash is? Because if you are able to do that, and then look at the other three ways in which you have just mentioned, I think it would be more fruitful. So you are just separating personality with approach based approach. Yeah. So this is just I want to add to the discussion in terms of how you can make it better. Back to you, Manav. Good job.
Thank you. And here I call Toastmaster Jyoti from Group 5.
Good evening, all. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
So our case is that our mentee was a part of a community club, and where the rules and regulations are not really followed very well. They have a loose mentee-mentoring relationship, and he has given all his speeches just like that without following any project guidelines. And now that he joins a corporate firm in which all the structures are in place, and he is finding it very difficult to go through the speech guideline. And but there is a strict rule that mentor has given that he will only give a speech and if it is verified very nicely or by the mentor. And this fellow is very angry and he wants to now quit. So first thing I think our group discussed was we'll try to listen to what are his issues, what are the problems that he is facing. Is it the time related problem that he is not able to do away with all these things like going through his guideline and preparing his speeches and going back to the mentor and all that? Or is it the time, or is it the mentor that he is having problem with? Or is it the preparation time? Like I come to the solutions little later. Just first thing, listening to what he has to say. Second thing, about trying to understand his goals when he joined Toastmasters, whether those goals are being fulfilled by the methods that he has used in the earlier club, that is community club, and why he has joined Toastmasters per se. And the first thing which we'll start with, if he is facing any time problems, then we can tell him the guidelines about the time. Like suppose his speech is after say 15 days. So how he can block his time every day, little bit time into writing his speech, then giving him a guideline about when he should send his speech to his mentor next week, and then preparation time for the studies. About the material, that in Pathways now the PDFs are easily available, downloadable, and we as a mentor have to take lead in this case initially to give him all the material ready-made in the beginning, because he's really frustrated. He's not ready to give his time for all these things. So in the first case, we'll try to give all these material to him ready-made available, and then slowly we'll try to come back on time. First thing we have to do is go that extra mile for the mentee and provide all the material to him. If the mentor is a problem, then we can talk to the VP head or somebody who's giving the mentor to change his mentor also. Third thing about the preparation time, as I already told, give him some frame of schedule, and then he can start preparing as per that schedule. Within next 15 days, do this, next like that, and then slowly we can retreat back. And then main thing what we should tell him, or we will tell him, is about our own experience, how following this structure has helped us in our Toastmaster journey, and giving motivation by telling other stories also to him, and gradually stepping back. Thank you.
Oh, excellent, Jyoti madam. I think your group has deep dived into solutions quite fast, if I have to say. And I think the solutions are all good. I mean, nothing wrong with saying that the solutions might not work. They would definitely work if at all those are the solutions that are applicable for that Toastmaster. Now, the only thing that I would suggest before I let Chandra speak is maybe sometimes as a mentor to such kind of a situations, we might have to take a step back before giving a solution. What I mean is, we might have to ask some questions that would help them understand, that would help us understand what their problem is. So, for example, if at all stories is something that you have said, personal inspiring stories, maybe that person does not want to hear those stories. He's not ready to take that knowledge into him, or any of those solutions that might not be pertaining to that particular problem or pertaining to that Toastmaster. So what I would suggest is, the thing that I generally use, which is quite good, is over a period of 6 to 7 or say 4 to 5 events, asking 2 questions. What is it that you have loved in the Toastmaster meeting or that Toastmaster event that happened? What is it that you did not like? Keep asking him these 2 questions for a series of 4 to 5 times of your conversations. So you would be able to immediately predict what is he liking and what is he not, and then focus more on the liking part, what is his loving part, and then figure out solutions to what is it that he is loathing. And this is something that you might want to try. Over to Chandra.
Thanks, Ravi, and thank you, Jyoti madam, and your team for doing this deep dive, as Ravi said. I think I will try to draw your attention to another important concept, which is called the club culture. Now, when I say club culture, why do I mention club culture is, let's understand that mentoring is just one piece of the whole activities which whole set of activities which happen in the club. Do you agree with me? Now, if mentoring is my top priority, but my club culture or the club affairs are going for a toss, I would rather step back and say, no, I will protect the club and the club culture first, and then the mentor and the mentoring process. Okay, so I think that's a tough call to make, but at the end of the day, leadership is not easy. We need to make some tough calls, right? The club EC has to make a clear decision that it might have worked for that guy in the previous club, which is fair enough and fine. But when it comes to this club, there is a set policy, there is a set procedure, and there is a particular process to follow, and any Tom, Dick, and Harry has to follow that process. So it starts really from the club culture. The second thing, I was a little worried when you mentioned that. You said we will also go back and ask, has his goals been achieved by doing whatever he did in the past? I would rather say that's a dangerous route to take. Why? Because the minute you say that question, he will answer, yes, it has worked for me. That's how I've been giving my speeches and I've landed up here. And then you're on the back foot, because the minute he says, yes, you have nothing more to offer, because it's more of a confrontation. So never draft questions when you know the answer is not going to build your case, especially when you're trying to solve an issue which is larger than Y or N answers. Okay, so club culture, and don't ask questions which will give you answers which are direct contradiction to what you want to achieve. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Chandra and Ravi. I believe Manav has a power cut, so I'll take it up from here. Thank you so much for all the moderators, the division directors, and area directors who came to all the rescue of the mentors. Thank you so much for guiding all the mentors and the attendees with respect to the discussion. We'll move to the third segment quickly. That's hearing from both CSK and Ravi Teja about managing expectations. So when we speak about managing expectations, it's very important to understand, hear, listen, speak to our mentor mentee, and the whole exercise which we went across was understanding the different cases you as a mentor or you as a mentee will face in the whole next 6 months or 1 year as a mentor mentee ecosystem. So I would like to ask Chandra and Ravi to quickly uh, let all the members know about what are the tips to manage expectations and how they have done in their course of Toastmasters journey.
Okay, so is it Ravi going first or me?
We are fine with either. So Ravi says you.
Smart fellow.
You go, Chandra.
All right. So, well, I think managing expectations is kind of very broad to talk about, because different individuals and different clubs and different roles will demand different approaches for managing expectations. Now, why do I say this? Let me give you an example. Now, the way you manage expectation with a new Toastmaster who is your mentee, as against a seasoned Toastmaster who is your mentee, are two different worlds, right? So, lot of things after a period of time when it comes to mentor and mentee happens through what I call as sign language. It happens through a lot of eye contact, a lot of monosyllable words, a lot of things what you people call in your corporate parlance as water cooler conversations. A lot of that happens there, right? Because agendas are not straight. Agendas are always crooked. Why do I say this? Now look at it. For example, let's take a case, because we're discussing case studies. Let us take a case. Now there is a Toastmaster, and I'm talking about my own experience, but I don't want to name the person here because the person is no more a Toastmaster. Now this guy came in fresh into Toastmasters way back in 2011, 2012, around that time. And the best part is I came in after he joined Toastmasters and he was assigned to me as a mentee. Okay. Nobody assigned us. We both belong to two different clubs. But at the end of the day, we came together because of Toastmasters. He continued to be in his club. I continued to be in my club, but we were mentor-mentee. Now, this guy is super enthusiastic. He has got the entire thing worked out. Back then, it was the old education program. He wants to be DTM, and he says, okay, what is the record for becoming a DTM in India? And I want to break it. And this is what I want to do. And he has completely planned. When is CC3, CC7, CC10, and then is ACB, ACS, everything. Okay. And not only this, he has a bigger agenda than DTM. What is that? And he wants me to be his mentor for that agenda, where he wants to get into the premier business school to to get his MBA. And because he wants to get there, he wants his DTM. And because he wants his DTM, he wants to become an area director. I mean, look at the complex situation here. All right. Now, why am I giving you this example? Now, which expectation will you manage? Will you manage his ISB expectation, or his DTM expectation, or his CC1 to CC10 fast track expectation? Which one will you manage as a mentor? So it's not that. I think the fundamental thing about managing expectation is one thing at a time, and that thing done well. I might have the ambition to become the Fortune 500 topper. Fine, fair enough. There is nothing wrong. But at the end of the day, you can only eat an apple one bite at a time. You cannot swallow it. Because if you swallow it, you are called a cobra. You're not called a human. Right? So the point here, what I'm trying to tell you is, let's take one step at a time. Let's set clear agenda. And I think the first step to managing expectation is bite it one at a time. So whatever may be the thing, Please keep that in mind and then go ahead. So that is the first takeaway, or I think I can use it as giveaway. The second and the last one here, after which Ravi is going to add to the list, or you can take a complete tangent. The second thing is, most importantly, managing expectation do not happen only because you have the title of mentor. Please be open for your mentee also to manage your expectation. It can happen the other way also, where you will say, no, I can't give you more time than 1 hour in a month, but your mentee has an expectation, something different. Now you need to be flexible for that. Normally, when we become mentors, we say managing expectation means setting expectation happens by us. So we set the expectation and we end up managing. What if you are not even setting the expectation? Somebody else is setting your expectation. How will you manage it? So that means the second giveaway is flexibility. You need to be open for both. One bite at a time. Two, be flexible and be clear about who is at the driver's seat. Once you know all these two broad areas, I think then the managing expectation is more of a rapport and empathy and goal setting and conflict management. All those issues will come into picture. So this is what I would like to tell for now. Maybe Ravi can shed some more lights on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Chandra has very well said is because of his experience and as well as execution, being a wonderful mentor that he is. So I never considered myself as a good mentor, but I think I'm a very good mentee than a mentor. So from a mentee perspective, managing expectations is a little bit, what I would say is cautious, because when you have a mentor, and depending upon whom you have a mentor, it is quite easy to push both the blame as well as the success onto the mentor. And it happens how much you allow it to happen. What I mean is, say for example, I still remember very well that people used to call me that I sound like Chandra whenever I used to speak. Now it is up to you, how do you want to take it, right? If you want to take it as a compliment, well and good, but if you don't want to take it as a compliment, then your expectations are a little bit different. So what I meant when I say is, irrespective of how others perceive you as a mentee, you should have your own expectation with your mentor, and that is pretty critical in terms of how you can build on that relationship between the mentee and mentor. Because it is important that when we set expectations, when we talk about expectations per se, what we are also trying to tell is, I am trying to maintain the trust between my mentor and myself. When things happen around you which lead you to spoil that trust between the mentor and mentee, that is a time where you have to have a discussion in setting that expectations also right. Where is it that you have to draw that line, both for yourself as well as for your mentor? So in majority of the cases, Chandra knows that when I call him and ask him for his opinion, that there is a possibility that Ravi would do completely opposite to what he suggests. He completely is very well aware of it. He completely understands that and he appreciates that. The important thing is, even if I go and if I go in and do something else and I fail, he will be still there. If I go and if I succeed, he will also be there to give the credit completely to me. Now, that is the trust that I'm talking of when you have to manage those expectations. So as a mentee, it is important for you to have those conversations whenever there is a possibility or whenever there is a situation that arises around you which can spoil that trust. The second thing, apart from trust, which I would say from a mentee point of view, keep setting the expectations, is, as Chandra also mentioned in his second point, who is at the driver's seat. The important thing is, at the end of the day, you are the person who is executing the idea or thought or action. It is not your mentor. No matter whatever happens or however big your mentor might be, at the end of the day, you are executing it. So it is important to understand that the onus or the responsibility of that lies on you, not on your mentor. You can never go back and pinpoint and say, that is what my mentor said. He asked me to use the body language. That is what is my strength. So I used. That is not how it happens. So the onus is still yours, and it is important for you to recognize, empathize with yourself that yes, this is what this the responsibility is completely towards me. What mentor is trying to give me is a different perception or a different opinion or another way of looking at the same thing, right? So these are the two things that I would say in terms of managing expectations as a mentee. Is one, identify carefully around you what are the factors that might spoil the trust between the mentee and the mentor, and in that case have a discussion with your mentor, sit with him and set the expectations right. The second one is, remember, 99%, it will be only 1% of chances that might happen where the mentor completely does that, or tries to tell you, and it completely depends upon your better. 99%, in fact I'll say 100%, whatever you do is because of you, as simple as it is. And that expectation you have to have upon yourself. And just before I end, I just want to say this as a thing that I have already said this quite earlier, is as a mentor, there is a fine line between mentoring and manipulation, right? It is very important for us to understand it and appreciate it. And for me, Chandra never tried to manipulate me. And I'll tell you why. If you are trying to suggest, or if you are trying to mentor somebody for your own gain, that is manipulation. Okay? And the opposite is mentoring. So you got to be very clear in that expectation as a mentor. What are you trying to do? What is it that you want your mentee to eventually come? Is it for his benefit or is it your benefit? And this is where I end. Thank you so much. Back to Cyril.
Thank you. I guess our MC is back. Manav,
Yes.
over to you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Ravi and distinguished Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, for that very interesting and intriguing dialogue that we had on managing expectations. Well, now, as we come over to as we have ended all the three phases of today's session of Spotlight, the focus group discussion, here I would like to call our past District 98 Director, Toastmaster Arvind, to give away the certificate of appreciations to all our moderators of today's group discussion.
Thank you very much for the opportunity of being here and witnessing all that my peers have said. There's a great learning here, and I'm happy to have been here. And thank you for this opportunity of now giving off the certificates to the people who are mentoring here. Okay, the area G1, the group G1, can we have distinguished Toastmaster Manideep?
Thanks, Arvind.
Thank you. Next, for group 2, we have Dr. Madhuri. For group 3, we would have Toastmaster Animesh.
Thanks, Arvind.
And for group 4, we will have Division H Director Toastmaster Anish. And for for group 5, Division N Director Distinguished Toastmaster Mayuri.
Thank you so much, Arvind.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes. Do I have to give any more? Do the moderators do?
No, I guess.
No, the facilitators don't deserve anything. They have to actually help everyone. Thank you very much, facilitators. I give you my certificate. having learned a lot from you also. There's a lot of give and take. See, we always give and take a lot here.
We can see the sarcasm in that, Arvind. Thank you.
What sarcasm? Okay, let's not fight about it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind, and all the group moderators, group discussion moderators, and facilitators. One thing, let me tell you to our advisors and facilitators, you do not receive certificates today, but you receive the love of all the people present here today in this meeting. So thank you so much. With this, now I would like to thank the people who made it possible to conduct this session. I have literally chopped down so many points from today's session, and I was completely into it, be it focus on the basics or to remembering the core values of Toastmasters, be it the Toastmasters promise, or setting the right expectations. I am sure that we all must have learned a lot today from all three phases of today's session spotlight. I would like to thank each one of you present here for participating actively during the group discussions as well as being attentive throughout the other two sessions as well. I thank all the group moderators, Toastmaster Manideep, Toastmaster Madhuri, Toastmaster Anish, Toastmaster Animesh, and Toastmaster Mayuri for moderating the discussion so well. I thank both the facilitators, Toastmaster Ravi and Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, for helping all of us, giving the right advices, the right suggestions, and thank you for your mentoring. I would like to thank the role players of Spotlight, the focus group discussion, our timer, Toastmaster Cyril, our Zoom master, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, and Toastmaster Yash as the Sergeant at Arms, who helped us in managing all the background work. I thank all the district officers who were present during the session today. I thank all the advisors who have always been there throughout all these 7 sessions till today, who have helped us and have given a lot of insightful suggestions and improvements to all of us. I thank all the mentors for participating today in this session and the guests for coming here and witnessing the beautiful session. So, and last but not the least, our presiding officer, Area G1 Director, Toastmaster Gagan, and Associate Area G1 Director, Toastmaster Cyril, for giving me this wonderful opportunity of hosting today's event. I have learned and enjoyed a lot. With this, I now sign off as the MC for today's event, and I hand over the control to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Yash. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mana, for being a wonderful MC for this session. And before we close our meet, can we all just turn on our videos and have a group picture, please? Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And before we close our meet, and the G1's next mentoring program is planned on 27th September at 7 p.m., which is a panel discussion on networking and team building, moderated by none other than distinguished Toastmaster Jervis. And that will be the last session according to this. That will be the last session, and we will also have a closing ceremony for that. And before we close our meet, let's have a word from the host of this session. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Cyril. Over to you.
Oh, that was not planned. Okay, can we have the screen down? Thank you so much. I believe there are 24 people. I'm happy to speak to 24 people. For me, it has been a great learning, coordinating as well as being a part of the whole mentoring program, talking with each of the advisors. We have amazing people in Toastmaster fraternity, getting them on board for this, coordinating with them. It's been fun. It's been a passion for me to be a host, coordinating with all my team members behind the scene, whether it's Vaishnavi, whether the PR team, Sriram, a lot of people. I would be naming them tomorrow. But thank you specifically to two of the people who agreed to take this today's session. One is Toastmaster Manav and Yash. I'm kind of a little struggling with my work hours, so these people really helped me out to plan a lot of things with respect to agenda, the posters and all. It's a pleasure for me to be a part of this program and also to organize. Hope we organize more such sessions in the future. We have our last session, which is on 27th, and it's going to be very interesting. I would request every one of you to be there. Share with your club members. It's more of a thanks to all the people who are a part of this program, starting from 45 mentors in the program to 6 amazing advisors, and to all the MCs, to all the sergeant at arms, everyone who was part of this program in building the whole area G1 mentoring program. With that, I would like to close and hand it back to our sergeant at arms, our dynamic area director N1, Toastmaster Yash, to close the meeting.
Thank you so much, Cyril. Now, as a sergeant at arms, I officially close the meeting. Thank you, everyone.